Hello everyone, back tuning into today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather next week, 10 days in today's second video. The big story is that it's warming up. The high pressure I've been talking about for the last few days is going to be building. Well, it's going to start building over this weekend. It's going to be particularly next week that the high pressure gets itself into place over and just to the east of the country, which will turn the winds into the south and the southeast. Will start to draw up some much warmer air from southern climes, and so by around this time next week, I think we can expect to be in the low to possibly mid-20s Celsius, so going up into the 70s Fahrenheit, and it'll be positively tropical compared to all the cold weather that we've had over the past few weeks. And it's going to be a taste of summer, really, so we're almost going to go from like winter to summer and miss out spring almost entirely. But of course those temperatures will only last a few days and then they'll start to drop back. So I'll tell you for everything that's going on right now. Just to say that JMA Friday has been released. It's the month-end look ahead as always on a Friday, and it takes us well into the second week of May. It looks as though we've got pretty decent weather coming up for the rest of April, but there are question marks at the very end of the month and then into May. So check that out if you'd like to do that. Video is here on the homepage. Just scroll down the page a little bit and it's above the snow desk, which we will have to very soon start thinking about getting rid of and replacing with the pollen count, but that'll probably be at the end of the month. Right, so we're going to start off by having a look at late observations because things are beginning to improve. I've been saying that the end of the week would start seeing improvement, and that is exactly what is happening. These are the latest observations from xcweather.co.uk. Now, you remember when we looked at these a couple of days ago, this light green area, which we've got across eastern Scotland and northeast England, that's where the coldest temperatures are. We're covering virtually all of central, eastern and northern Britain. Now that coldest area is restricted back to the far northeast. So it's at Aboyne it's still only 6 degrees. I mean, down to Chatterhill it's still only 6 degrees as well. Bulmer is at 6 degrees. If we come further south in towards Newcastle, again only 6 degrees. So the cold temperatures are still there in the very, very far northeast, but you'll notice deeper greens as we come further south. So East Midlands is up to 8 degrees, East Midlands Airport. Of course, Birmingham Airport is up to 9 degrees. And then if we come a bit further south than that, it gets a little bit milder. So Fairford is up to 10 degrees. Boscombe Down is up to 11 degrees. Southampton is up to 10 degrees. Thorney Island is at 11, and come down to the southwest, Plymouth is up to 11 degrees as well. These light yellow colours beginning to move up across the south, and this is the start of the trend to warmer weather. It's beginning to brighten down in the south. We've been stuck under all of this gloom and misty, murky, cold, dank weather for many days, but the wind direction has changed. We're losing the easterly wind that was bringing the relatively warm upper air temperatures over the cold North Sea, and the two were combining to produce loads of cloud and gloom, damp weather. We're losing that easterly down in the south. The winds are going into a southerly direction. That's bringing drier air up from France, and that's allowing the cloud to thin and break. This is the start of the change to proper spring, and eventually by next week summer-like conditions. And essentially the weather is on the up from here on in. So for once I get to bring you some good news, unless of course you've been enjoying the cold, damp and gloomy weather that we've had over the past few days. I don't think there's many people that have enjoyed it, but if you have, well, it's on its way out, and sunshine, warmer temperatures are heading north. So these are the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles. Looking at Luton today, someone asked me to have a look at the GFS ensembles for Luton. So the red line here is the upper air temperature average for Luton, and we're starting off above average right now with the upper air temperatures. We've been above average with the upper air temperatures all week, but because of the cold temperatures in the sea, in the North Sea, and the easterly wind bringing in all of the cloud, we have never been able to realise the temperature potential through this week, except in very limited sheltered southern and western parts of the country. But now that we're changing wind direction, we're getting rid of the cloud through the course of today and tomorrow. Be primarily tomorrow for most parts of the country, just down in the south where it is brightening up today. But most parts get brighter weather tomorrow. Now we're doing that, we're going to be able to realise the temperature potential. So we are above average with the upper air temperatures, which means over the weekend we're going to see the temperatures going into the mid-teens Celsius. But we don't stop there, because as we go through to next week, the temperatures rise even more. In fact, the GFS models are upgrading this warm spell through next week, because yesterday the ensemble mean, which is the white line here, was not really getting much above 10 Celsius at 850 HPA. Now it's actually going above that. It's going to around 12 or 13 degrees Celsius at 850 HPA, which means we are upgrading the warm potential for next week. So low to mid 20s Celsius definitely, and you wouldn't totally rule out the possibility for the south anyway of going even a little bit higher than that. So could we get 26 or 27, around 80 Fahrenheit through the middle of next week? I wouldn't totally rule out the possibility, but it will be down in the very, very far south and southeast. Most places it's low to mid-20s Celsius. And it only lasts a few days and before the temperatures cool down. We're not going cold by the look of it as we go through the final week of April, though there are a few cold outlier members. But those are outliers. Generally, it looks like we're sending the temperatures back down closer to the 30-year average. Not totally ruling out the chance of turning cold in the final week of April, but there wasn't much sign of that in the month-ahead look-ahead that we did earlier on today. No real sign from either the JMA or the CFS of a notably cool or cold end to April. So I think we might be backing off that possibility now. We see within the GFS summers that possibility is still there, but I suspect it will probably be just more of a cool down closer to average through the final week of April. In terms of precipitation, well, a lot of dry weather coming up in the next week to 10 days, so virtually no precipitation spikes at all, really, for Luton in the next week to 10 days. But through the final week of April, the precipitation spikes are coming back, so not only does it cool down, it looks like it also turns a little bit more unsettled as well. Surface temperatures for Luton are looking like that. So we're starting off again around or a little bit above 10 degrees Celsius. Those temperatures start to lift up a bit over the weekend and then may increase more through next week. The peak of the temperature through the course of next week looks like it's around sort of Thursday to Friday next week, where temperatures are actually going, a lot of these ensemble members anyway, are actually taking surface temperatures above 20 degrees Celsius, possibly as high as 25 degrees Celsias. Then as going to the following weekend, we see the temperatures sliding back again, so we lower the temperatures back down to closer to average. So a few days of very warm, if not what you would call a hot weather, really, for the time of year, for the second half of next week, and then cooling down as we go through towards the final week of the month. Temperature anomalies are looking like that for the week ahead, the 13th to the 21st of April, coming out warmer than average for the UK and Ireland. All parts of Europe are coming out warmer than average as well. Precipitation anomalies look like that, generally drier than average, particularly to the south and the east, but it is a little bit more unsettled up in the north and the west. This is how the GFS is looking for Tuesday, when we've got quite a deep area of low pressure out in the Atlantic, but that's sort of stalling in the middle of the Atlantic, and it's allowing this ridge to build to the south-southeast. Nevertheless, the start of next week will be a little bit unsettled for the north and west, so not a totally straightforward transition into drier weather. The early part of next week will bring some rain and wind, primarily to northern and western parts of the country. The south and east should be, astronomy ensemble for Luton, should be pretty dry throughout the whole of next week. Now, by Wednesday, that high pressure is inflating over and to the east of the country, which is dragging in this much warmer air from the south and the southeast, and then into the second half of next week. This is Thursday, 19th of April, where winds are turning southerly, and we're beginning to pick up the air from France and down in towards the Mediterranean. So the air's wafting northwards from southern climes, and that will be bringing increasingly high temperatures. Friday 20th, we're starting to wobble the atmosphere a little bit. There's a low pressure moving out of Biscay and into the Brest Peninsula, and that could be bringing risk of some thunderstorms. This is kind of like a Spanish plume type situation that we are seeing here at the end of next week. So unusually warm temperatures, yes, and maybe we'll have to start getting storm watch going, can you believe, next week. There's a bit of cape and lifted look for next Friday, 20th of April. So that is indicating thunder and lightning potential, convective potential within the atmosphere, what will be a very warm but unstable southerly flow. Into the following weekends, this takes us up to Saturday 21st of April, where low pressure is developing closer to the country, so it could be showers or longer spells of rain, maybe a bit thundery with that. And then as we go up towards day 10, we push that through, and then we go into sort of a zonal flow. So we've got high pressure to our south, low pressure to the north, and we're bringing in this west to southwesterly wind. It looks as though it would still be fairly pleasant in the south, but temperatures would be a bit cooler. So temperatures are stacking up like this in the next few days. Maximum temperatures today are just sort of, well, for the north, still really quite disappointing. 5 to 8 degrees really for much of Scotland. But further south, it is milder than it has been over the past few days. Nothing to get excited about, but temperatures between around 10 and 14 degrees for much of England and Wales. Tomorrow it's warmer. Temperatures going up into mid-teens Celsius. So that's going to feel very pleasant. Sunday also sees temperatures into the low to mid-teens Celsius. That continues into Monday. These are much warmer temperatures compared to what we've had this week. Remember, these are maximum afternoon temperatures, much warmer compared to what we've had this week, but probably not all that far from average. However, Tuesday we start to bring in some proper warmth. So England and Wales going up to between 15 and 19 degrees Celsius. That's going to feel very warm indeed. And by Wednesday, those warm temperatures are spreading across the country. This is Wednesday next week, 18th of April, with those warm temperatures into the low 20s, spreading pretty much across the whole of the country. There'll be good sunshine with that as well. And then the temperatures increase further through to Thursday. So by Thursday, we're seeing maximums forecast here between around, say, 20 and 23 degrees for much of England and Wales. You can normally add on a degree or two from that. So again, 25 Celsius, 77 Fahrenheit is not out of question through the second half of next week. That continues into Friday as well. 24 is being suggested there for, I would assume that's like central London. So again, add on a degree or two more, and we're not going to be all that far from 80 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius, if that is right. It will be dependent on how much sunshine there is, of course. And then we go through to the following weekend. This is Saturday, 21st of April, where the temperatures then are starting to edge backwards. Only going back to sort of average values. Still very warm across northern Scotland, interestingly, but elsewhere we're going back to sort of be mid-teens Celsius, about what we'd expect for the latter stages of April. And then that continues into Sunday, 22nd of April, as far as we're going to go. England and Wales still seeing the temperatures into the mid-teens Celsius, so still very pleasant and about where you'd expect them to be for that day. A little bit cooler though up across Scotland and Northern Ireland. Finally, just having a look at charts from the ECMWF. Again, we've got the low pressure out to the west on Tuesday. That will bring some quite windy weather into the north and west, and maybe some rain too. But high pressure is building across England and Wales. That high pressure intensifies through to Wednesday the 18th of April. Next Wednesday sees high pressure taking over, bringing warm temperatures up from southern Europe. That continues into Thursday the 19th. Then on Friday the 20th, again the high pressure is there over Scandinavia or southern Scandinavia. Winds in from the south-southeast, but the atmosphere is wobbling a bit. We've got this low pressure moving out of Biscay up across France. Could that bring some thundery conditions at the end of next week? I wouldn't totally rule it out. And then go through to Saturday 21st of April, where anything thundery is quickly being pushed through, and we're bringing in a west-southwesterly flow then. It's not cold, but it is cooling down and going back closer to average. And then as we go up to day 10, that's how we look. Very similar to where the GFS is at day 10, actually, with high pressure still keeping very, very pleasant spring-like weather going towards the south. Low pressure is up to the north. The black line is depicting where the jet stream is, and that is going to our north as well. So we're still on the warm side of the jet stream, still enjoying not summer-like weather, but proper spring-like conditions up to day 10. So the weather's on the up. We're just about finished now with this cold, gloomy, grey weather that we've had for so many days. It's already brightening up in the south. Central northern areas will continue with this cloud and gloom for the rest of this afternoon. So for you, you've got to wait till tomorrow. But by tomorrow, all places should be seeing brighter skies and warmer temperatures. That will be the trend through next week, with a taste of summer still very much on course for the second half of next week. And we'll discuss that more in the weekend forecast, which will be tomorrow's first video update. Also tomorrow, we're going to have the CFS 6 months look ahead. That's just for fun. We're going to go 6 months ahead with long range CFS V2 model. Sunday, we've got some summer analogues coming up for you, and we'll have the Gazzo's Sunday roundup as usual. So a lot going on at the website over the weekend. Keep checking back for more. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.